Yeah, what we're seeing is that the judicial and legislative branches of our government, separation of powers, are starting to weigh in on this topic. And the regulator, the SEC, is part of the executive branch appointed by the president. And as we're seeing cases go through court in the judicial system, the SEC, the judicial system is questioning the SEC's decisions here. And so we think this is a good thing. We actually think this is going to be in the courts and in legislation for perhaps years. And what has happened in the meantime? We have Binance under increasing regulatory scrutiny for more criminal activities, and fraud being one of them. And therefore, we have the competition to Coinbase. Really, we think it's disappearing. And so that's a good thing longer term for Coinbase.
Binance US says it's transitioning to an all-crypto exchange as of June 13, citing pressures from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, which targeted the company with a major enforcement action this week. In a tweet, the U.S. arm of Binance said it's temporarily transitioning to an all-crypto exchange, and the company said trading, staking, deposits, and withdrawals in crypto remain fully operational. USD deposits will be suspended as of June 9, and USD-based trading pairs will be delisted shortly after, the exchange said. While we remain open to a productive compromise that enables a thriving digital asset marketplace in America, Binance US will continue to vigorously defend ourselves, our customers, and the industry against the meritless attacks of the SEC, the exchange tweeted. On Tuesday, the SEC filed for a temporary restraining order to freeze certain assets tied to Binance US. The two were due back in court on June 13 regarding the matter. The same day, Binance US says it's transitioning to an all-crypto exchange. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, Cathie Wood, Chief Executive Officer and Chief Investment Officer at ARK Investment Management, said Binance Holdings US legal problems will benefit Coinbase Global because it would eliminate its main competition. She also speaks about her $1 million price prediction for Bitcoin and if she still believes Bitcoin will reach that level or not.
Are you still confident in that $1 million target for Bitcoin?
For Bitcoin, yes, actually, the more uncertainty and volatility there is in the global economies, the more our confidence increases in Bitcoin. And one of the reasons is we've just been through an inflationary scare. We think it was very much supply chain driven. And Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. We also believe now that the bigger risk is deflation, not inflation. And why would Bitcoin do well in that circumstance? It would do well because it's an antidote to counterparty risk in the traditional financial system. On the Bitcoin blockchain, everything is transparent. It may be pseudonymous, but we can see all the transactions, all of the activity, and therefore we have a much better understanding of how little counterparty risk there is in the blockchain world.
Bitcoin might have displayed strength by quickly recovering from the $25,500 support level on June 6, but that doesn't mean that breaking above $27,500 will be an easy task. Investors still expect stricter regulatory scrutiny after FTX's bankruptcy in November 2022, including the recent suits against Coinbase and Binance. A total of 8 cryptocurrency-related enforcement actions have been undertaken by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, over the past 6 months. Some analysts suggested the SEC is attempting to redeem itself for failing to police FTX by taking action against the two leading exchanges. Additionally, looking at a wider angle, investors fear that a global recession is imminent, which limits the upside of risk on assets such as stocks, cryptocurrencies, and emerging markets. Billionaire Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, said the U.S. is seeing stubbornly high inflation along with elevated real interest rates. Dalio warned of an excess debt offer amid a shortage of buyers. which is especially concerning since the U.S. government is desperate to raise cash after the debt ceiling was hit. Recent macroeconomic data has been mostly negative, especially after China announced a 4.5% decline in imports year-over-year on June 6. Furthermore, Japan posted a 0.3% quarter-over-quarter contraction in gross domestic product on June 7.
It was interesting to see the SEC sue Binance on one day and then the next day Coinbase. And they were trying to put them in the same bucket. They are not at all in the same bucket. We have two former officials of Binance US coming forward, and actually we now understand that they have been working with regulators and the government generally to help the government understand how Binance US was not separate and distinct from Binance International, and how much CZ controlled Binance US, and how much of Binance's data was in China, and how much commingling of funds there were. Coinbase is not accused of any of this, and it is unfortunate that the SEC took action against Coinbase the day after Binance, and then seemed to mud Chairman Gensler, as he was on one of the major news channels, was trying to implicate Coinbase in the same way that he was implicating Binance. No, they're very different. There are questions about what's a security and about staking. Those are the two questions that Coinbase is facing and Binance is facing. But most of the other questions around Binance have nothing to do with Coinbase.
According to Blockchain Association CEO Kristen Smith, the SEC is trying to circumvent formal rulemaking processes and deny public engagement. Meanwhile, insider intelligence crypto analyst Will Page said the SEC's intent is to police the space through enforcement in the absence of a regulatory framework. Those criticisms explain why investors may be clinging to their hopes in the U.S. Financial Services Committee hearing scheduled for June 13. The potential overreach of the SEC has caused ripples multiple times, including in the U.S. legislature. Senator Bill Hagerty, for instance, stated that regulators at the SEC are weaponizing their role and publicly called out SEC Chairman Gary Gensler, further supporting the thesis that the cryptocurrency space can function without crypto banks, as the centralized exchanges are commonly known as this sudden increase in decentralized finance volumes. So is it a good time to invest in Bitcoin, and what's your prediction for Bitcoin in 2023? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.